Hey everyone, RJ here. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'll be doing a speed test comparison between the Google Pixel 6 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Okay, so before I get started, I want to give just a few specs on both phones, just to show you what we're dealing with here with these devices. Now, the Google Pixel 6 Pro is running the new Tensor chip by Google, and the Samsung is running the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888. Now, both of these phones have the same amount of RAM at 12 gigs. Now, the Samsung is the mid-tier storage option at 256 gigs, and the Pixel has 128 gigs. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with there. So I want to hit on. Let's go ahead and start off with the boot up test. Turn both phones around here, and we will do that right now. Okay, Google pops up first, then Samsung. So let's see which one powers on first. And the Pixel is blazing there. Powering on, waiting on the Samsung to start up here. All right, and coming in second is the Samsung. Okay, so before we get into opening these apps side by side here, I am recording with a different phone, and so it may not be quite as clear. I do apologize for that. The phones right here that I'm testing are the phones that I normally record videos with. But anyway, it's all good. Now, both of these here are running, the same everything, the same Wi-Fi. Both of them are on a network. This is on Visible. This is on Red Pocket using AT&T. But they are on Wi-Fi to get the same speed for my Wi-Fi and all like that. Now, I did run a Geekbench 5 test, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. And you can see here, a little bit of difference. You got the Pixel coming in at 1042 single core and 2886 multi-core, while the Samsung comes in at 1073 single core and 3284. So, not too much difference going on there. Android 12 here. Over here, still Android version 11. So there we go. Let's go ahead and just clear out of that there. Both of these phones here are extremely smooth. They're just really awesome to use. Let's go ahead and clear this out here. Everything is closed in the background, and we'll get started in with this test. No, we won't. Not yet. We won't. I do want to make mention of one thing with the Pixel 6 Pro here. Is that some apps, I did run this test before doing it on camera, just a little, see how it done, side by side. And sometimes the Pixel, like if I push HBO Max or certain apps, it'll pop up a little thing, like the HBO sound will pop up for like a split second and then go to the loading screen. That sometimes throws it off a little bit. Now, I'm not making any excuses for the Pixel whatsoever. Both of them are very speedy, fast phones, and you probably won't hardly even notice it here in this speed test. But I wanted that out there that sometimes that happens, and you may see that here in this test. But with that saying, let's go ahead and get started in with this test, starting now. That was the Samsung by a fraction. Let's go into YouTube. And again, the Samsung barely took that one there. Let's go into the calculator. That's about even. Let's go into the calendar. Samsung does have that. Let's go into the clock. Once again, the Samsung barely took it. Let's go into Target. And that was close, but I think the Pixel, it started up first on the Samsung, but I think the Pixel actually outdone it in the end. Let's go into Amazon, and the Pixel took that. When you see that little thing that popped up before it started loading, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, the Pixel took that one there slightly. Let's go into Twitch. Now, I'm not signed in on these, so yeah, I'm just running them. But the Samsung did take that one there. Let's go into the Play Store, and that right there was pretty much even, okay? Prime Video, that was the Samsung, took that one. Let's go into HBO Max. Ooh, that was too close, too close, too close. Let's go into Twitter. And close there once again. But as you've seen, the new tweaks popped up first there. but it's still the same time. It, you know, I mean, come on, that really ain't that important. That was very close. Anyway, let's go into Disney Plus. And that was a Samsung, just barely. Man, that's so close. Now, for some reason, on Temple Run 2, on the Pixel 6 Pro, for some reason, sometimes it won't start. Sometimes it'll freeze. Sometimes it'll crash. It's the only app that I've downloaded and used that crashes on the Pixel 6 Pro. And wouldn't you know it, it's Temple Run 2. But we're going to try it out here and see what happens. So let's go ahead and open it up now. All right, it's all starting good. Let's just see what happens here. All right, well, the Pixel loaded up faster. If it crashes, then we still gonna know which one's gonna win because it got there first. But yeah, it keeps stopping. But the Pixel did take it if it wasn't keeping on crashing for some strange reason or another. So yeah, that's the only game, that's the only app that it does it on this phone. Let's go into Dead Trigger. And that was the Samsung started up first. Let's go into Play. And that was basically the exact same time. We'll heal up here. And these displays, I mean, they are just so smooth. I mean, you can just tell here that these displays are just extremely smooth. So we'll go ahead and get out of that. Now we'll go into Asphalt 9. Starting now. Let's see which we can get into the main screen first. It's going to be close. And that was the Pixel 6 Pro. It'll pop up here. But you can see right there that both of these are just really fast. You know, they're really quick. There's really no issues with one other than Temple Run 2 on the Pixel 6 Pro. But both of them do very well. Both of them are fast. I mean, I have used these phones for, you know, for everything. And when it comes down to day-to-day usage, you are not going to see any difference in speed whatsoever. One thing that I have noticed between the Tensor chip and the 888 is if you use Power Director, for some reason, it takes a lot longer to save a video on the Pixel 6 Pro than the S21 Ultra. I did record like a 1 minute video clip, 1080p, 60 frames per second, and when I went to save it, this was like 50%. Before, this was like 5%, and I'm not really sure if it's Android 12. I'm not really sure if Power Director needs to be maybe modified for Android 12. I really don't know how that works and everything, but it is much slower saving a video on the Pixel 6 Pro. Hopefully the app will improve some, but it just saves the video way too slow compared. I mean, it was a bigger file on the Pixel 6 Pro than it was on the Samsung. It was 240 megabytes on the Pixel 6 and 202 megabytes on the Samsung. But I mean, even at 40 megabytes difference or something like that, this won't be at 50%. It should be at 5%. All right, that's not going to happen. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to run back through these apps and see if there's any reloads. I'll do them one at a time so I won't screw anything up. But we'll go into Asphalt 9, of course. Shouldn't see any reloads here whatsoever. Dead Trigger, ready to go. Of course, Temple Run crashed. Disney, it's good. Twitter, good. HBO, Prime, Play Store, Twitch, everything seems to be working great so far. There we go. Target was good. Everything is good so far. I mean, 12 gigabytes of RAM, what do you expect? Yeah, no issues whatsoever. And since we skipped Temple Run on that one because it crashed, we'll skip it on the Samsung as well. But that worked just fine there. Dead Trigger works just fine. Disney Plus works fine. Twitter, HBO Max, Prime, Play Store, Twitch, Amazon. Everything is going good so far. Clock. Yeah, no reloads. I didn't really expect them to be any reloads, especially with that kind of RAM. So I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, it's where the power buttons. on these phones. Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, I am so used to the power button being below the volume rocker. But I want to tell you, both of these phones are very solid. Now, of course, the 128 gig Pixel 6 Pro is going for $899, which in my opinion is a very solid price for what you're getting. You're getting amazing everything on the Pixel 6 Pro, and the S20 and the Galaxy S21 Ultra is also a phenomenal phone. I've had it since February of this year. And of course, this here, of course, is that platinum titanium color, and it has that carbon fiber look there around the camera. Oh, if this was just red, that would just kind of like set it off perfectly. This is the cloudy, I think it's called cloudy white, and it looks really good as well. And I'm just satisfied with both phones. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of these phones. I recommend both of these phones very, very highly. I'm not sure what the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is going for nowadays as far as price. And I know that the S22 is going to be coming out probably sometime in the beginning of next year. So excited to see what's going to happen there with that phone. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Pixel 6 Pro versus the S21 Ultra, basically in heavy task, in light task, in gaming, battery life's about similar. 5,003 milliamp hour battery. I think it's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery here in the Samsung. Both of them do extremely well in battery. There's just no issue. There's not enough good things to say about these two phones. I'm just being real with you. I mean, they both have their little quirks, their little issues that needs a little bit of addressing, of course, because it's a cell phone. It's technology. It's not going to be perfect. But I got to say, both are great. Highly recommended. That's all I got to say. So, this little test. Now, this is not a scientific test whatsoever. You know me by now. Benchmarks don't really mean nothing when it comes to the performance of everyday usage of the phone. And these tests are not scientific. They're not going to indicate how the phone works on day-to-day usage. It's just two phones side by side opening up apps just to see which one gets there quicker. You know how it is. So, if it's helpful and informative in any way, hit that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it down below. Be sure, if you're not subscribed, to consider subscribing and hitting that bell and clicking all on that bell for notifications. I sure would appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. Y'all have a good one, and I'm out.